Hello there. We're glad to have you join us on NAPTIP On The Move. I'm Angela Agbegi. The elimination of all forms of violence, especially sexual and gender-based violence, is paramount to the federal government. This informed a high-level engagement with states towards addressing sexual and gender-based violence against women and girls. Let's take a look.
The Director General of NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi, recently attended the opening of a 3-day high-level engagement with states on promoting rule of law and enhancing criminal justice pathways to addressing sexual and gender-based violence against women and girls. The 3-day event, which was organized by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, started with a welcome address by the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Muhammad Babandoko Abubakar. Goodwill messages were delivered by dignitaries present, including the Director General of NAPTIP and Minister of Women Affairs.
Let me first of all thank the Office of the HAGF and UNDP for putting this event together. NAPTIP implements the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act in the FCT. And for everyone working in this space, we all recognize the enormity of the problem of sexual and gender-based violence that we face as a society. For us in NAPTIP, we see it in the number of reportage that we receive every year. But I can categorically state that there is a shift and progress is being done. And I say that because there is this exciting alignment of the criminal justice system and the Nigerian society. People are speaking up, people are reporting. Things that used to be tolerable in the past are no longer being tolerated. Neighbors are calling out neighbors, kids are calling out their parents, spouses are calling out, themselves. That in itself is progress. Last year, as an agency, we received about 1,342 reported cases of sexual and gender-based violence in the FCT. In 8 months, that is from January to August, we have already received 790 cases of sexual and gender-based violence in the FCT. In terms of convictions, last year we secured 5 convictions, and so far in 2023, we've secured 3 convictions. The first conviction that we secured this year was 21 years imprisonment without the option of fine. The second conviction was 25 years imprisonment without the option of fine. And the conviction that was secured 2 weeks ago, a high-profile case, it was life imprisonment. So, for us as a country, I would say that is progress. And I want to thank the judiciary for their doggedness and for their courage.
I want to first say thank you to everyone. Thank you to Attorney General that organized this event. I am so happy about it. As we speak today from our data, 24,720 reports have been laid. And as I'm talking to you, only 306 has been prosecuted. If we don't change things for Nigeria to start working, who will do it for us? Let us focus on our country, because if we get women to focus and do better, the country will be saved.
The Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Justice, delivered the keynote address on behalf of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice.
The issue of SGBV has continued to dominate national and global discourse, particularly because of its prevalence and difficulties in detecting and prosecuting of most offenders. It is highly insidious and constitutes a grave human rights violation. It is a hidden crime on account of its cultural permissiveness, as it is deeply rooted in harmful gender norms and practices which forms our way of life, thus making detection and eradication very difficult. You are all aware that SGBV are mostly state offences, predominantly committed in the communities within our various states. Now, with the enactment into law of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law by nearly all the states of the Federation, it is necessary to continue to develop and build capacity of state actors to effectively implement the provisions of those laws. The growing incidence therefore demands stronger and more coordinated responses and approaches, as it has continued to undermine our family values and endanger the lives of our women and children in particular. I'd like to restate the commitment of the federal government to the implementation of our various obligations under the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women and other international human rights instruments, as well as national laws prohibiting incidences of SGBV. So I'll just mention a few: the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015, the Trafficking in Persons Enforcement and Administration Act 2015, the Child Rights Act, among others. We will continue to develop appropriate frameworks and countermeasures to overcome and respond to unique challenges posed by SGBV.
Let's put our hands together.
Coming from a national assignment, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice reiterated the commitment of the ministry.
I'm happy to be in your midst. I just want you to know that I have great respect and support for this initiative, and we appreciate this. We are together in the drive, and we journey together. Your role is one that cannot be overemphasized. We need you, because no matter how well organized the system may be, without good prosecutors, there is hardly anything anybody can do. So my coming is just to let you know this. I wish you very successful deliberations.
The event had in attendance honorable ministers, honorable justices, heads of law enforcement agencies, including the representative of the Inspector General of Police, commissioners of police, directors of public prosecution across 36 states.
NAPTIP's disability inclusion efforts are enhanced by the agency's collaboration with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. Recently, the management of NAPTIP paid a visit to the Commission. Let's find out more in this report.
The management of NAPTIP, led by the Director General, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi, recently paid a visit to the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. Speaking on the purpose of the visit, the DG thanked the Commission for their collaborative efforts so far.
From the very first day I met the ES, we've had a very cordial and very fluid relationship, and he's been very supportive to the work we do in NAPTIP. And we've been able to get a lot of advice and guidance from the ES himself. So on behalf of the management and staff of NAPTIP, I want to say thank you, my brother, for the support. Thank you for what you've done for us in transcribing all our key policy materials into Braille. That if we were to contract that for somebody to do for us, we would have paid millions, and the commission decided to step up to do that for the agency, for NAPTIP, free of charge. So we remain very grateful.
She also highlighted all the efforts of NAPTIP in ensuring disability inclusion.
For us in NAPTIP, we are very laser focused and we are very deliberate about disability inclusivity and about mainstreaming issues of persons with disability into our everyday work, into our everyday processes, and also across our 5-pronged strategic approach of prevention, protection, prosecution, partnership, and policies. we know that as at today, when we talk about issues of human trafficking or violence against persons, all persons are at risk. But when we talk about persons with disability, they are more at risk because people tend to take advantage of them, and most persons with disability depend on caregivers. And we've seen cases that have come through the agencies where caregivers take advantage of persons with disability. And we also know that the difficulty in sometimes communicating what the problem is also, truncates that access to justice for persons with disability. That was why last year we developed the NAPTIP disability policy, and I can categorically state that NAPTIP is about one of the few agencies in Nigeria that has its own NAPTIP disability policy, and that was only made possible due to the collaboration of the agency. And in the past 2 years, we've been able to make our building at the headquarters accessible. So we have ramps, and in addition to what we've done, we established a reform unit, and that reform unit has a disability desk. So that disability desk is responsible for anything that has to do with persons with disability. To also enhance accessibility for all our programs, we have a sign language interpreter. So we have a language unit, and in that language unit we have embedded sign language interpreter.
The DG and her team were received by the Executive Secretary of the Commission, James David Lalu. Today, we are happy to receive you in our office. NAPTIP is a very important institution for the disability community in Nigeria. Partnership with NAPTIP is something that is very important to us. Today, as you come here, we recognize NAPTIP as the first federal institution in the Federal Republic of Nigeria to have ever converted their policy document into Braille. We are commending you for this, knowing fully well that we are with a professor of law, and as the lawyers always say, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. We are happy that you realize the need to communicate your policy in the language the disability community will understand, because sometimes using interpreters to interplay communication to the blind community may be at risk, and therefore putting this thing into Braille is very important. For us at the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, we have established a center for the conversion of documents into Braille, and additionally, the national copyright law today in Nigeria empowers the disability community to convert any document into Braille without infringing on the copyrights of any country. And based on the provision of this law, we want to tell you that we are ready to convert more documents from NAPTIP into Braille. He also commended NAPTIP and called on other agencies to emulate NAPTIP in its disability inclusion efforts.
We are recognizing you today.
We are recognizing you today, being a professor of law and a person who complies with the laws. For many years, NAPTIP has been involved in fighting trafficking against persons generally, and NAPTIP has been doing this specifically creating awareness among the disability community. We will use this opportunity to commend NAPTIP for keeping faith, protecting the rights of persons with disabilities. Providing access to justice for the disability community is something that we remain very committed to. We want to commend NAPTIP again for the issue of accessibility in your headquarters. We are calling on all other relevant federal government agencies to comply with accessibility for persons with disabilities in all relevant federal government agencies. The law provided a transitory period of 5 years, that is from the 17th of January 2019. The 5 years is ending on the 16th of January 2024, that is next year, and according to the provision of the law and the provision of the National Regulation on Accessibility in Nigeria. By 16th of January 2024, any public building that is inaccessible for persons with disabilities, we are mandated by law to go and seal this building. Highlight of the visit was a formal presentation of transcribed NAPTIP policies and IEC materials into Braille. The collaboration between NAPTIP and the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities is an impactful one.
Training and capacity building of officers is fundamental to NAPTIP. Recently, the agency trained officers at its call center. Don't go away.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons recently organized a 4-day training for officers at the agency's call center. The training was funded by Expertise France. The NAPTIP Director, Information Communication Technology, represented the Director General. With the flag-off of the training, the technical session began with presentations on advanced customer service with focus on service mentality, emotional intelligence, managing callers' expectations, and communication skill writing. The 4-day training ended with presentation of certificates to participants.
This 4 days training has been very impactful and is going to improve my job. I learned about managing the customer, how to handle angry customers. Also improve my CRM skill, my data analysis. DG always need our data, so now I know how to improve on data analysis and how to arrange and forward data to her. I'm happy to be in this training, really.
The training is actually a very nice one. So it actually enhanced my usage of CRM. CRM is customer relationship management. It actually helps in reducing the burden on you as a customer service rep. As a customer is talking to me, the CRM is already there for me to input everything. So I'm doing a lot of things and achieving the results faster than it used to be. So that's one of the best thing this training has actually helped me to achieve.
First off, I want to say thank you to our able DG, my Professor Waziri Azi for giving us this opportunity. Because without her, we won't be having expertise, Francis, to give you this in-depth training. We've learned a whole lot. The usage of customer applications, the CRM, how to receive calls, how to talk to customers, how to deal with irate customers, and how to give real-time reports when it's needed for decision making. So I want to plead that this kind of training should be more frequent.
The training will go a long way in ensuring effective communication with the general public, especially the victims. It will enhance the fight against human trafficking and violence against persons.
NAPTIP's resolve to ensure justice for victims is succeeding. The agency now secures convictions almost every week. One of the latest is a landmark conviction of a notorious trafficker. Keep watching.
A federal high court in Benin, Edo State, presided over by Honorable Justice Geraldine Madegbelo, has sentenced Felicia Osaigbovo to 12 years imprisonment and a fine of 24 million naira for trafficking 12 victims to Belgium for sexual exploitation, an offence contrary to Section 13(4)(c) and Section 18 of the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition, Enforcement and Administration Act 2015. So far in 2023, NAPTIP has secured 54 convictions and counting for human trafficking.
Finally, let's hear the story of a victim.
My dad is late, but before my dad died, my dad and my mom is not staying together, they separate. Then I was not staying with my auntie, and she promised to take me to school, but she did not take me to school. Over here now I'm in her house, and she beats me if I do any small mistake or shout at her children. She beats me. So this day we were packing from the old house. So after I put the load in the truck, I now wanted to follow them, but she did not allow me to follow them. She said I should go. I was now asking her that where will I go to. She now said I should go anywhere, that my time is up in her house, that I'll find my way. Then the truck now left me. I was standing there. So I did not have anywhere to go. I was just walking. Then a good Samaritan now saw me on the road because rain wanted to fall, and I was looking for where I will put my head under. So the good Samaritan now brought me to NAPTIP office, the head office, and they brought me to shelter here. I'm saying thank you to NAPTIP for helping me and encouraging me that I will go to school and I will find place and peace to stay.
For more inquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking, violence against persons and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotline 0703 0000203 or the short code 627, or email us info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria, or watch our videos on YouTube.
This is where we draw the curtain on this episode of NAPTIP On The Move. Do join us again next week. My name is Angela Agwegi. We hope to see you soon.